How's it going, everybody? It's Warren, and welcome back to Superhero Central, where we love to talk about superheroes. And today I'm going to be talking about a superhero who could be the strongest of them all. A superhero who is overlooked in the superhero universes, that's only 2'4", weighs only 30 pounds, and he's human. And did I mention he's only 1 year old? That's right, Jack Parr from The Incredibles. He may have had you all fooled throughout the first Incredibles movie, but not me. This kid may seem cuddly, cute, and harmless, but he is deadly. You definitely don't want to get on his bad side because he may just go ham on you. Just ask this raccoon. And if you ever come across him, you better hope you have some cookies on you. As seen in the first Incredibles movie, Jack did not show any powers in his first year of age. His father, Mr. Incredible, his mother Elastigirl, his brother Dash, and his sister, Violet, were not sure if he was even going to have any powers at all. It wasn't until the very end of the movie when he was being kidnapped by Syndrome that we find out he has powers, but not only does he have powers, he's the strongest of his family. Jack has many powers, and boy are they entertaining to watch. His primary power is shape-shifting, specifically polymorphism. I'm sure we all enjoyed the part where Mr. Incredible took Jack to Edna for help, and Jack changed his nose and his eyes to resemble hers, and even sprouted her signature rounded hairstyle. Gotta love it. He can also turn into metal. This makes him extremely hard and super heavy. We saw proof of this when Syndrome had Jack in his arms flying and then drops him because of how heavy he was as metal. Jack can also burst into flames, and not only can he burst into flames, he can make anything he touches burst into flames. One of my personal favorites, and it's super fun to watch. Along with these bodily changes, as we saw in Incredibles 2 during the raccoon fight, he can become as if he has no bones. He becomes like jelly, kind of like Harry Potter's arm when Professor Lockhart tries to fix Harry's broken arm in the Chamber of Secrets. But just add the stickiness. Jack becomes boneless and sticky. We see this when the raccoon gets stuck to Jack. Another power of Jack is levitation and flying. Jack has no problem lifting himself off the ground and floating. We even see little Cha-Cha, as they call him in the movie, sneeze a couple of times and go blasting into the air like a rocket ship, leaving a stream of smoke behind him. Not only can Jack levitate and fly, he can also teleport from one place to another and dimension hop. During the teleportation, he is in another dimension. When Edna gives Mr. Incredible a tracking device to be able to predict where Jack will reappear after teleporting, it tells him what dimension Jack is in. This makes us wonder what these other dimensions look like and whether he can stay there for longer periods of time and maybe even take people with him. Hopefully we get to see more of this in Incredibles 3. Isn't Jack full of surprises? Well, we aren't done yet. Jack also has telekinesis. He can move objects with his mind. We see him use this when he saves his mom from being hypnotized by the goggles of the screenslaver. And also when he lifts the lid off his family's trash can. Jack ain't gonna let no one go through his family's trash. Another one of my favorites is his laser eyes. We first got a glimpse of his laser eyes in an animated short when it goes in depth of what happened when Kari was babysitting him. In the short, his laser beams were quick and purple. But in the second Incredibles movie, we can see that he can hold a constant laser stream out of his eyes as well, and they are now bright green. His laser eyes can pierce through almost anything. A power that a lot of fans loved is when he self-multiplied. We know that he can at least have a dozen versions of himself. Oof, poor Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl. What parents would want their kid to have that power? And good luck to his babysitters. And I also wonder if each version of himself is able to use his powers or if it's just the main version of himself. And you know how some parents call their kid a demon child? Yeah, well, Jack is a demon child. I mean literally, as a superpower he can turn himself into a demon. He turns into what looks like a little purple gremlin. He gets crazy angry and tries to bite everything. However, give Cha-Cha a cookie and he may change back into the sweet little Jack. Also, did you notice that after his fight with the raccoon, he didn't even have a scratch on him?
You have powers! Yeah, baby! And there's not a scratch on you!
This means that Jack holds the power of invulnerability. We also see Jack grow into a giant fat version of himself, which was super entertaining. And I also wonder now if he has the ability, when he is normal size, to make himself shrink. Kind of like Ant-Man powers, can go really big, but can also go really small. Let's also not forget that he can walk through objects and walls, generate electricity, and has super strength. I mean, what other 1-year-old can lift and throw a lawn chair like that? And what also makes him so unique is that he can use multiple powers at once, and it's very interesting. Director Brad Bird with Pixar said they didn't plan on giving Jack Jack this many powers. Here's what he said during a Pixar press conference in regards to giving him his powers. I didn't put a lot of limits on them initially, so they started doing everything. I think that we started to go, alright, we gotta settle down a little bit towards Act 3. We don't want to have any new powers in Act 3. And then we got into Act 3, and there were a few points where we'd go, oh, it'd be really cool if we had one more new power here. So we kind of told ourselves to stay strictly on our diet, and we kind of broke it a couple of times. We didn't have a lot of limitations. We tried to treat this very unrealistic world. Tried to pepper in realism in terms of what people think and how they react to having powers. Well, I personally think that in the end it turned out pretty great for Jack Jack. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Jack Parr, who most likely could be the strongest superhero in any universe. If anyone could go toe-to-toe with him, it would have to be somebody like Superman, Thor, Thanos, the entire Avengers team, or the entire Justice League. But let me know what you think about Jack Jack. Do you think he could take on the Avengers or the Justice League? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our superhero videos. As always, this is Warren, and thanks so much for joining us here at Superhero Central.